Today we're going to be checking out the K-Tor pocket socket 10 watt 120 volt hand crank generator. So stay tuned. Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. Today I'm going to be reviewing the pocket socket by K-Tor. It's a 120 volt 10 watt hand crank charger which can charge a variety of devices, and the unique thing about this hand charger is of course that it has that adapter, that AC adapter that you plug directly in, so there's no direct USB compatibility. Before I do that, I want to talk about a competing product that I was going to review a couple months ago, and it was so bad that I just killed the review. It was the Eton 2000 hand crank charger. I cranked that sucker for 10 minutes straight and barely got 1% on my cell phone, so I really had almost lost faith in crank charging devices until I seen this device. So I'm just going to show you the packaging here. So the size and weight of a water bottle, the hand crank generator is easy to take with you wherever you go. Packing spare batteries are a thing of the past. Okay, well, there are some limitations to that I'm going to talk about, but all in all it is a good product. I would say for the most part it is rugged and reliable, as they state here, and no doubt you will be exerting a lot of human energy to use it. And you know, the great thing about these more active forms of power generation as opposed to the more passive forms of power generation like solar power or wind or even portable hydro systems like they have now, is that you can use this anywhere at any time. Now, one of the drawbacks is it's going to make a lot of noise, so I'll tell you right off, it is a little loud. So if stealth is something that you're hoping for, then this is probably not the product for you. But then again, there's going to be a lot of situations where you don't need stealth, where you're just trying to survive. If anything, you're trying to make noise. So I'm just going to unbox it for you real quick. So this is how it comes. It comes with a very small sheet of instructions. The instructions will provide you with the essential information, but if you had other questions or frequently asked questions, look on the website, Kenneth Torino, and check out the videos that he has on YouTube. He does have a YouTube channel that I'm going to link to up here. So when you pull it out, it's made of a polycarbonate plastic, and it's basically just a big crank. So that's all it is. There's no flashlight on it, anything like that. It's fully dedicated to the function of power generation. So spin at 120 RPMs for max power. Power output is 10 watts at 120 volts. Made in the USA. So something to be said about that. Now the funny thing about this crank charger is that you're going to lose more energy on the stabilizing hand than you do with this hand. So this hand is never really going to get sore because of the largeness of the handle. It's more of an arm rotation. Really, what gets the workout is your opposing forearm that's holding it. You should be able to use it in an ambidextrous manner. For the first little while of using this device, it's going to require some conditioning. It's not something you're just going to jump into and crank 10 minutes off easily. It will require conditioning. So don't be discouraged if you get the device and you find that you're working really hard for a small amount of power. It takes some getting used to. When you first start doing any activity, physical activity, you're not going to be efficient at it at all. Your energy expenditure can be more than halved once you gain a proficiency in the motor task. So that said, let's go test it out and let's see what sort of results we get. Alright guys, so we're going to do a cell phone charge test of the Galaxy S3 with a 2.1 amp at 5 volt adapter. Typically with one of these chargers, the 2.1 amp over the 1 amp, you're going to get a faster charge. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 3-minute crank cycles on the phone, and then we're going to compare the percentage at which the battery goes up to 2 3-minute charge cycles on the wall. So right now it is at 14%, and so we're going to go 2 cranks per second, as that's what the maker of this product recommends. Now the phone is on airplane mode, which basically deactivates the GPS, the 4G, and the wireless, so you're not having any battery drain, and this is going to be expected in any emergency situation. You should try to eliminate as many background processes as possible. So here we go. Look at that handsome guy there. Shows us that the phone is charging. Like I said, according to the maker of the product, it should be a consistent charge, so you don't want to take any breaks. 3-minute cycles should be long enough, because just like a car, in starting up the phone, you use more juice. Alright guys, after 6 minutes of painful cranking, I am now at 18%. The first time you use this, it's going to seem incredibly inefficient and grueling, the workout that you get from it. But with persistence and practice, you gain muscular mastery. So, you know, if you continue to use it on a regular basis, you're going to get better at using it. So 6 minutes charging, we got 4%. So that's not bad. Realistically, that isn't bad at all. So we're going to now plug the phone into the power outlet right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back in 6 minutes. Right now we are at 18% still. Alright guys, it's a little over 6 minutes. So let's see what the results are. So we got 23%. I don't know what the standard deviation or the margin of error might be, but the difference between 4 and 5% for the same amount of time that we spent charging the device is not that significant. So essentially, the power outlet on your wall is going to charge it 25% faster based on this test. But of course, those numbers are sort of ambiguous. 18%, it could have been the high end of 18%. It could have been, you know, it could have been the low end of 23%. You know, so it's really hard to determine. But you have to remember, it's putting out the same amount of power as a wall outlet. So your wall doesn't have to do anything, obviously, in order to generate the electricity. You, on the other hand, got to work your ass off. Now, if the owner or creators could find a way to mount it, whether it's just a universal mount that you could strap to a tree, and so you could just crank it like that so you didn't have to stabilize it, or if you could put it on a table or some solid, flat, squared surface, that would really minimize the energy expenditure. Because you got to remember, in a survival situation, there's also the matter of calories. So, and it may not be a survival situation, right? You may just want this for camping or backpacking or what have you. And if you get proficient at using it, you may well burn a lot less calories than somebody who's new at it. But in the beginning, it's going to be very challenging. The only part which you're going to run into problems with, I think, is right here. I don't know, you know, it has a 1-year warranty on it. I question this part. I think that's the weakest part of the device. And I'm pretty sure it's probably an easy part to replace. However, you don't want to be replacing products in the field, and you're probably not going to have that luxury. So that's a couple areas that the device could be improved, but pretty incredible that you can have a 120 volt, 10 watt crank generator this day and age. I just think that's fabulous. And I think that the owner is very personable. You can message him personally with your concerns and he'll actually get back to you. So very good customer service on that end of things. So definitely check out the K-Tor pocket socket. I think it's worth the money, but like I said, be prepared for a workout. So I just wanted to demonstrate that with very vigorous cranking, you can deliver somewhat of a charge into the Nightcore IntelliCharger system here. As you can see there, it is 10 watts, so you're using the full capacity of the pocket socket, which means you really got to give her. Now there's still a charge being delivered into there, albeit a trickle charge. And see, you can tell when you're reaching the limits of the pocket socket because the resistance is going to change. You can try to take another battery out and see if that has any effect. A little bit of a difference there. A little easier. So you could charge one of your 18650s a bit easier. There's still some resistance there. The pocket socket will charge your iPad. Theoretically, you should charge it just as fast as the wall would charge it. Final assessment of the K-Tor pocket socket. It is a very innovative product. It's the only one on the market that you can have this AC outlet compatibility. And 120 volts, man, 10 watts, that's, smaller than one of your Brunton solar chargers. And of course, you can use it at any time. Great device, will power your phone as fast as an outlet. So you can't really ask more than that. So don't get frustrated if you get it. Remember, you need to condition your body to use this device first. And I'm a person who exercises every day, and I still had to condition my body to use this device. So something to consider, but definitely check out the K-Tor pocket socket if you're into self-sufficiency. It definitely can't hurt to have one on hand. So go check it out. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out. Check out the Canadian Prepper Network blog, an excellent resource for Canadian survivalists and preppers.